Hi guys, my name is Sean. I'm a houseplant enthusiast from Jakarta, Indonesia. Welcome to Singapore National Orchid Gallery, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and home to over 1,000 orchid species and 2,000 hybrids. While the garden primarily focuses on orchids, it would be a huge mistake to overlook the thousands of wonderful non-orchid plants that live here. We start the tour with their fantastic orchid collection, then we marvel at inspiring landscaping style and techniques that you can replicate in your gardens. Then get ravished by their impressive bromeliaceae collection. Finally, we end with an orgasmic finish at their high elevation cool house full of peculiar but gorgeous plants I bet you've never seen before. I have included timestamp for the episode in case you wish to skip to parts that interest you the most. My personal favorite is the second half of the episode. Enjoy! This is actually quite fun. There's all these arches up above with this H-cananthus up here. I see also some orchid leaves, but they're not in bloom. And then there's some bromeliaceae up there as well. It really took effort for them to put up these arches. These are quite wonderful, this place. I adore this because this is the Dischidia, which is one of my favorite genus. And then there's all these orchids hanging out in there. I don't know if the orchid's actually alive, let's see, or if it's like stuck in water. But this setup here is quite interesting. Dischidias are actually quite wonderful. There's a lot of things you can do with Dischidias in terms of styling. This one orchid here, look at the tiny little flowers. I think this is what Nan said about being a hula hoop girl. And then there's more of these. A lot of peace lilies here, a lot of costas, and this is a really interesting blooming ginger thing. A lot of orchids are just perched all over the place. Some of them are not blooming, but look up above. It's actually really stunning up here. That Ficus laurata. There's some kind of a guided tour back there. There are some dendrobiums here. Something tells me they can actually take a little bit of direct sunlight. There's a bit of opening here in the sky. Let me show you in a bit. There. This is looking really wonderful. How stunning. And there's like a peace lily back there. Gorgeous fern. Bromeliaceae just greeting people, and there's some kind of orchid in a cage here. It's actually very peaceful here with a lot of I don't know if these are crickets, but beautiful plants all around. This is gorgeous. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to give you the species ID of some of these, and the leaves look like that. This is a taka, bat flower, that we filmed in the last episode, in case you missed it. Really gorgeous flowers. I'm just really impressed with how everything is laid out here. So it's not overwhelming with just orchids. This one says it's Aranda 1 Charquan. What an interesting name. But this is what the flowers look like. And with a name like that, it's probably a hybrid. This is a Strobilanthus diarianus. I have a video on how to care for and propagate this. If you give it more light, it can actually give you much brighter foliage. It can be very dramatic. And there's a bit of Hoya here as well. The leaves look wonderful. These ones are actually very cute. This is my finger as a comparison. They are very tiny. Really good job with the decoration placements of everything. This one is gorgeous. Hello. I think I read the card earlier that some of these were hybridized right here in this garden. And these hang down like pendants. Look at that. Really wonderful. Some Hoyas here as well. Look at that, they're so wild. It's like overtaking its trellis. I think this is the Calistophylla. I could be very wrong. In Indonesia, a lot of orchids are grown side by side with Hoyas. Maybe they have similar care requirements. Now this one is really stunning. And I also have a feeling that Hoyas are grown more for their flowers in Indonesia, and people who love flowers tend to like orchids as well. Gorgeous cattleya. They have really dramatic flowers. Can be quite large. This is my hand for comparison. Now I sometimes see tillandsias grown side by side with dischidias in my Thai nursery tour. I have a feeling that they might also have very similar care requirements. Looking at the people that are browsing here, you can tell that there are a lot of orchid lovers that come here. So I have a feeling that this might be a sort of a pilgrimage for orchid lovers worldwide. Like if you come to Singapore, maybe this is on their top destination. I'm not an orchid person per se, but I can see how this can draw everybody, all the orchid lovers from all over the world. Now we have wandered off into the VIP orchid garden. It says that they are a section where the best hybrids reside. So let's check it out. This is the Aranthera and Black. The Dendrobium hybrid, I believe from Japan. I actually have a thing for white flowers, pure white flowers. Maybe because I like my interior space to be more minimalistic, so I don't like cluttered colors. Named after Angela Merkel, who I believe used to be the Prime Minister of Germany. If I'm not wrong, please forgive me if that information is not correct. But yeah, interesting little flowers that look like fairies. This seems to be named after the president of the Republic of Uzbekistan. So I guess it's like an international collection here. There's like something from every country. Those are probably orchid enthusiasts over there. So orchids are very popular in some countries like Taiwan, Japan, and obviously Singapore. There's also some hybridizing effort in Indonesia, but I have a feeling South America and other parts of the world, there's probably tons of collectors and hybridizers. There's a gazebo here. Let's check it out for the first time. It's either gonna be amazing or underwhelming. Color me unimpressed. Thought that we'll be awarded with some beautiful view over here. Sorry. Amazing Calathea or Jopertia rufibarba. They're very fuzzy, really difficult to keep alive indoors, but they are so beautiful here. Even the stem here is like super fuzzy. Some wonderful cordyline. They look like little fireworks coming out. It's actually, the landscaping here is quite marvelous. Now this here, there are two different plants, but both of them variegated. This one is really stunning. And back here I do have this plant, but I forgot the name, so comment down below if you know this plant. There's actually a lot of pathways here, and I see that every path has slightly different designs, slightly different plants. Huge begonia here. So a lot of like aglaonemas, calatheas, begonias, orchids of course. But this is quite well done. Really nice play with like texture, things like that. And these orchids are also like mounted but not flowering. And this is really catching my eye. The new leaves come out pink like that. And here, this here I actually have this plant, so I'm gonna talk quickly about it. This is actually in the Lea genus, Lea kochiana burgundy, if I'm not wrong. I'm trying to figure out what it likes. It's getting a bit of direct sunlight, but for the most part pretty filtered. Yeah, I do see some open sky here. Mine struggled for a bit. It's come back to life now, but I can't say that it's thriving. But this is a really interesting shrub plant that is dark and burgundy. Now I'm going on this trail, and they say that the trail begins in lowlands and then mid elevation, and then I'm guessing it goes to the highlands, so you get to explore different orchids that actually thrive in different elevations here. Really cute palms. I know this is an orchid trail, but I'm drawn to every types of palms. Really cute Lea zipaliana. Really beautiful display of orchids along this driftwood, and everybody looks so healthy. There's so many different species of orchids here because orchids span many types of species and hybrids, and different care requirements. So I don't really know how this garden managed to keep up with so many different diversity of orchids. How do they care for them? Orchids are also very susceptible to disease and illness, although the conditions are actually very good here. It really replicates their natural habitat, but it's an impossible feat to be taking care of these, I don't know, at least 1,000 different varieties of orchids. Probably a type of Dracaena. Not a lot of dramatic coloration, but still an interesting plant nonetheless. A lot of ferns used as ground cover here. Yeah, more Dracaenas, Malominas. It's quite enjoyable. I actually am having a great time. And there's all these like trail that you can wander off into and get lost. Just a lot of these ginger family plants here as well. They provide such a nice pop of color. Now this is an interesting fern. It's put out baby pups from the frond, from the main stem. I have a feeling you can propagate these. A lot of really beautiful understory plants that kind of reflects light back up. This is a difficult calathea to care for. Look at the intricate, look at the size of the latest leaf. This is big. And there's these strappy-leafed orchids here. This one's like super big. This palm is actually quite gorgeous. Look at the leaves, and look at that, it's fruiting. I'm actually obsessed with botanical drawings of palms. They make such wonderful botanical drawings. This is actually a beautiful palm. There's just a lot of beautiful calatheas all over the place. Really wonderful, and they look so happy here. This is the ornata. Really happy here. So sometimes when we struggle with certain plants, it's okay not to own them, to be honest. If they're much happier out here, so be it. We just can travel more and see some of these plants. This is the Blacknum. This is a type of fern, a type of tree fern. Look at those two fronds coming in. Hello. Yeah, they're so wonderful. Look at that. I really love to see plants burst into life. But my point is, like, we don't really have to own every single plant in the world. Some anthurium. I haven't actually seen any anthuriums in this whole tour. This is a regalia, if I'm not wrong. Wow, look at this. This is in the ginger family. Don't really know the species ID. If I do find out by then, I will include it on the screen. Really gorgeous. Look at that. I used to think that these are the flowers, but actually no, they are the bracts that put out these flowers. How wonderful is that? And those are coming into life. Alright, can I be honest with you guys? I severely underestimated this feature here in this garden. It's well worth the admission fee. There's a bromeliad garden here. Now we do see this on the map. I thought that this was open to public, but apparently this is part of the National Orchid Gallery. It's really stunning here. I have a thing for bromeliads. Don't know much about them. I think this is what happens when you're so greedy and you like different types of plants that you don't really, you're spreading yourself thin. That's what I mean. But how beautiful is this? Oh my gosh, and I love this structure here. It's very Jurassic Park. But there's all these bromeliads here, mounted. A lot of them are epiphytes. There's a lot to take in. This one has nice frosty leaves. Massive Pasizanums here. Beautiful clump over there. And it's just like people. I like people watching like this. I like to see how people react to things. Call me weird. Maybe because I'm actually a photographer as well. I love taking portraits. This is a beautiful bromelia. Look at the electrifying color on these. Biliatides. Some Philodendron martianum. down below. Interesting. Now, if I caught anyone on camera and you did not want your faces shown on my video, please feel free to contact me and I will be happy to remove that portion, because invariably I'm just gonna capture people, not on purpose, but yeah, personally for me, like if people captured me in their videos, I'll be okay. I'm fine with it, not a problem. But I know that some people want to be a bit more private. This is beautiful actually. The leaves kind of fold over at the tips and that silver sheen looks like a tillandsia, but that's not a tillandsia. These are tillandsias. So sometimes we forget that tillandsias are in the bromeliaceae family. Stunning, all these crisscrossing tillandsias up above. But look at that. This is amusing. That one leaf is putting out. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And these are in bloom. These are bromeliaceae blooms. Don't you love the contrast between that and the leaves? The leaves look almost manly, macho, and then the flowers are very, very flamboyant. Here's another example of that. Closer. So I think I'm getting the care of bromeliaceae down. I mean, I've talked to a few people and I've actually added a little bit of bromeliaceae into my collection. Generally speaking, they want their crowns to be wet all the time, but they do want a fast draining potting medium because they don't want to sit in water. And as long as you don't let them dry out for too much or too long, they will be okay. And this water is actually acidic here and it does not allow mosquito larvae to thrive. This is a beautiful anthurium, I think, Anthurium clavigerum, if I'm not wrong. This looks like a kind of aspidistra. Elegant leaves actually, they kind of wave around and you can see that. Oh man, look at this, it's like a wall of bromeliaceae. They actually do fairly well in vertical gardening. My gosh, just so you know, I'm not trying to make everybody nervous, but I'm supposed to be at Gardens by the Bay by now. My family is kind of waiting for me there and I've got content to shoot, but I'm actually enjoying myself here. So sometimes you lose track of time and nothing else matters. I have not had lunch. That doesn't matter. Look at these interesting flowers. You forget about hunger, and the leaves look like that. Sometimes you forget about your phone battery space, your storage space, because I am filming on my phone. So yeah, I'm having a blast though, you guys. Thank you for coming with me on these journeys. Sometimes when I have time and I see people taking photos for one another, I always offer if I can help them take photos. Again, this is interesting orchids here. Yeah, these are tillandsias, but they look like aerial roots coming down. Yeah, if I'm not in a rush, usually I really like to help people take photos. This is an interesting display. And this Xerographica is flowering. These look to me like some kind of jungle cacti perched amongst this orchid. I think it's coming from here. Potentially a type of Ripsalis. Very interesting. It's got like tiny little flowers. I think this is in fact a Ripsalis. Beautiful palm with a red trunk. This is Hoon Siang Mist House. Let's look around. This is a cute little contraption here for the orchids. Interesting alocasia down here. Gorgeous cordyline. Beautiful colors. They like more light though than this. This is this color. Oh, this is what their flower looks like. Did not know that. Yeah, let me see if it'll focus. They put out these cute little tiny flowers. Huh. And this is a bit sun bleached. You can see the leaves are lighter in color, but when you grow them in a shade, they have like nicer, darker foliage with red undersides. This is very cute ground cover actually that they do. And everyone's Just busy taking photos. Love it here. Schefflera. Schismatoglotis. This is a Alocasia lauterbachia, if I'm not wrong. Interesting begonia. I'm amongst my people. I think everybody here are appreciating the plants as much as I do. Beautiful Medinilla. Now, can't see the flowers, but let me show you what the new leaf looks like. They have really interesting shaped leaves, but then they're new unfurling leaves. Really, really stunning. Look at that. If you've clicked into this video thinking that it's an orchid episode, I apologize deeply. Might be misleading. This could be the Syzygium Jiuhui in a mature form. That's another one as well. Look at that new leaf up there trying to unfurl. They look like Anthurium veitchii. Now I don't want to set trends or anything, but this is probably a houseplant that might be trending next. It's very sought after. This is a beautiful Selaginella. I think I got one of this, but it did not do well. I quite like the designs of these. So there are pillars in between. Maybe something to inspire you. Some Platycerium, Syngoniums, spider plant. Some of this color. Some Apischia. Look how nicely they trail. They put out the stolons. Begonias. I'm surprised to see begonias here grown on a wall like this. I guess they just kind of, let me see, they just grow into the moss. Oh my gosh, this is the blooms. I'm guessing this is the Medinilla magnifica, guessing from the flowers. So look at that. So I have a feeling this is the actual flower itself, and up here this is like their modified leaf. Let me see it from underneath. Oh man, I've actually not seen flowers this magnificent before. Now the exit's that way. I should take the exit, but we've got this to go to, the coolhouse. So let me figure out what's in there. Hopefully there's some interesting things to see, and it's gonna be worth our time being late. So for those of you who's wondering why I'm sometimes late for things, this is probably why. Push, open sesame. Whoa, after like hours out in the heat, this is like super nice. It's very cooling in here. I would say it's probably around 23, 24 degrees Celsius, like a nice air-conditioned room. Some really nice setup here. These Medinillas here, and some flowering plants, some begonias back there. Pause this video and take this all in, because there's a lot of details here that I cannot show you due to time constraints. This is a beautiful vining plant. This one has gorgeous leaves. I don't know what this is. Comment down below if you know what this is. Stunning. And those Aeschycanthus, that's like purple with like red flowers. I've not seen that. And some Nepenthes up there. There's a lot going on here, you guys. I'm very happy to be here. So these are some glorious begonia blooms. I guess it's coming from that begonia, but the blooms are spectacular. This is really stunning. Look at that. What an interesting detail that it's got. Something's going on back here. This is a peperomia. This is the first peperomia that I've seen in a while in one of these tours. Very underrepresented. That's actually a begonia, if I'm not wrong, although it does look like an aroid. Look at the leaves and that little bit of pink on the top and the fuzzy petiole. This is a begonia, right? Someone tell me if I'm right or wrong. This, I would say, is like my favorite part of the garden so far. Not only because it's cool, there's a lot of really cute little begonias around, but there's some peculiar plants in here. Wonderful orchids here. And these, if you look at the leaves, quite normal looking, right? But see what happens if I go under it. Bam! Stunning. And this one is put out flowers underneath the leaves. Oh man, look at these leaves. Gorgeous leaves on these. And then there's are the flowers. A lot of different type of flowers. Like, this is really well done. A really well put together exhibit. Really well cared for plants. Some Sarracenia here. And this is that peperomia we saw earlier. That is all flowering profusely. This is really stunning as well, this orchid. I saw that in a show in Thailand coming into the market. So this might be an interesting house plant to watch out for. That looks interesting. It looks like it's in a Gesneriid family, almost like a Pischia leaves and even the flowers. But then it grows in a stalk. You can see the main stalk coming up. So this is not a trailing or a stoloniferous plant. They're stunning. The coloration is really beautiful, but probably not an easy one to care for. It's a lot to enjoy here. Wow. There's some curious flowers here too. Look at that. Ignore the fire hydrant next to it. This is really peculiar as well. Look at that. This is a beautiful, I think it's Paphiopedilum. Could be wrong. Beautiful. A lot of tree ferns here. Oh, and it's so beautiful out there. Oh my gosh. These hanging plants, this is really interesting. Really beautiful. Look at that. This is not unfurled yet, I think. Yeah, they form these little chains, I think. I don't know if this is the name of the plant. I'll Google it as I edit the video. But they came down in a chain like this. Look at that. And the fuzzy leaves. This is really interesting, you guys. Some bromeliaceae basking in the glorious sun. More of these. I don't know what this is. I really don't. Hang on. Let me look at the leaves. They're so nice and fuzzy. They trail beautifully, and the flowers are such a stark contrast to the leaves. Saxifraga stolonifera, if I'm not wrong, known as the strawberry begonia. It's neither a strawberry nor a begonia. Quite cute to see them grown like this. Maybe this is how they do in their natural habitats. This is that plant again. I'm really curious to know what this one is, actually. They do trail down really beautifully. But maybe they are a cool climate-loving plant, which is why they're in this enclosure. And they might not do so well in a more hot climate like mine. Look at that. This is some crazy Phalaenopsis. This is insane. Look at the rows and rows of flowers. Man. It's probably like a hybrid, like really well selectively bred to get that trait, to have these really long rows of flowers. And maybe also a combination of really good care. This is insane. This is also insane. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is unreal. And there's actually a lot of interesting foliage down below. But let me get close up look of these flowers. They look so fake. They look so perfect. This is really quite blowing my mind. Oh my gosh, a lot of begonias. And some of them are in bloom. That's one. And I see other species behind as well, which we can't get close to. Those also flower beautifully back there with the translucent white flowers. Ooh, and somehow the temperature is dropped. It's getting a little bit chilly down here. But look at that. Someone likes it cold, I guess. This is really stunning as well. With the new growth coming through, shooting up into the sky, and it'll probably flop down once it's a bit heavy, because this is a plant that seems like it wants to kind of flop over a bit. But that's really cool to see. Paphiopedilum. These are lady slipper orchids. These are quite sought after by collectors, and a lot of hybrids of them exist. With irresistible flowers like this, you can imagine why people love them. Beautiful row of orchids here. They look so much better in a row than they do alone, like that. Stunning. Some papillopadilon here as well. And this one's about to bloom, but look at the leaves. The leaves are insanely beautiful on these. There, that's nice as well. You know what, at some point I realized there's a lot more of them there. I have to really put away my phone and rush towards the exit and find my way to the next destination. Oh my gosh, this is so stunning. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, okay. Alright, so I really gotta put away my phone and start dashing towards the exit because I really need to be at the Gardens by the Bay. I'm very late. But in summary, do come here. This is really amazing. You'll discover a lot of really interesting species, really interesting ways to display them, and also meet a lot of other plant lovers. I really enjoy just watching their expression, watching them interact with the plants. Which way am I going? I have no idea which way the exit is, but I'm a bit lost. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the very end. Stay tuned for more and see you in the next one. Bye bye. Thank you, Patreon members, for supporting the channel. Should you consider joining as a member, the Patreon link is Sean from Only Plants. It can also be found in this video description. I've started producing bonus contents for members. These include plant hauls, plant shopping, and mini bite-sized adventures. The same bonus contents will also be unlocked for you if you join to become a YouTube member of the channel. There is a monthly membership fee as small as a cup of coffee a month. Simply go to Only Plants channel page and click join. Your contributions help me grow the channel, do better content, and have a better quality of life. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.